Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel. This is my review for Inside Out 2, the sequel to 2015's Inside Out. This movie once again follows Riley and her 5 emotions: joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. Riley is now officially in her teenage years and thus has hit puberty. And with puberty comes some new emotions: anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and a new. And anxiety gets to the point where she pretty much takes over Riley's body, outcasting the 5 main emotions that were there from the start. So taken far away from headquarters, it's up to joy and the other emotions to try to get back to headquarters and stop anxiety from pretty much turning Riley into someone she's not. When this movie was first announced, I was adamantly against it, like from the start, because Inside Out is not only one of my favorite Pixar movies out there, not only the best movie of 2015, but one of my favorite movies of all time. It's wildly creative, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it is one of the most perfect Pixar movies ever made. And I know Pixar has had a better track record than not when it comes to sequels, but I always feel like Pixar should never ever do sequels unless they absolutely need to. And just based on the announcement of this sequel alone, considering that Pixar was not doing well financially, that's why I was against this from the beginning. However, hearing the concept and seeing the first trailer for the movie made me go, okay, I see how this can go many ways, and this feels like the most logical step to take an Inside Out sequel. And I'm happy to say that this is one of those Pixar sequels that actually warrants its existence. Not only does it feel like the most natural next step for this story, but the movie also comes up with a lot of new creative ideas that we didn't see in the first Inside Out. There's stuff like brainstorms. There's so many creative ideas that this movie comes up with that it still feels very fresh. And the new emotions are pretty memorable. Maya Hawke voices anxiety, and you may remember her from Stranger Things Season 3, and her voice is absolutely perfect for this character, and it just absolutely fits the design of this emotion. And I figured, where have I seen that design before? Because it looks familiar, but also not. And it kind of gave me Large Marge vibes from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, mainly in the mouth. But this is a great design and perfectly fits the spirit of anxiety. Ayo Edebiri, who's one of my favorite comedians working right now, is great as Envy, just so full of energy, and the design once again fits perfectly. And as for Anu, I can't pronounce the actress's last name, but she's the lead in Blue is the Warmest Color. She's good for the little time she's in the movie as Anu. And Walter Hauser would be really great as Embarrassment, but unfortunately, he doesn't get that many lines. In fact, I don't think he even gets his first full line of dialogue until the end of the movie, so that's rather disappointing, but all the characters are still fun regardless. And then for the returning emotions, we do have Amy Poehler coming back as joy, Louis Black as anger, and Phyllis Smith as sadness. But as for fear, Bill Hader has been replaced by Tony Hale, who does a good job, but you can tell that's definitely Tony Hale, and I think Bill Hader fit that role better. Disgust has also been recast, this time played by Liza Lapira, and she does a really good job to the point where you can't really tell that much of a difference between her voice and Mindy Kaling's. And I like how these characters actually get more to do this time around, rather than just being stuck at headquarters and trying to keep everything grounded, at least until Joy gets back. But all of them are a lot of fun, and with Joy in particular, there was one scene in this movie that really stood out to me involving her, that when it ended, I wanted to go, yes! Thank you for addressing this movie. The one big struggle that every positive person in the world has to face is addressed in this one moment, and I loved it. I was like, thank you for bringing this up, Inside Out 2. And this movie is, of course, just as thought-provoking as the first one was. When you get older, you have to deal with more complex emotions, the dangers of anxiety pretty much just taking over your entire body. It's not healthy at all. And I really like where the movie ends and what its final statement is. So I really do love this movie. The only thing that keeps me from loving it as much as the original is that it didn't hit me. It didn't make me cry. It did come close. However, the night before seeing the sequel, I did rewatch the first Inside Out, and Bing Bong's death, and when sadness comes to the rescue to save Riley, those moments hit hard, and even watching it again on Blu-ray, they are very effective. This movie doesn't quite have that, but maybe on a second viewing it will work now that I know what to expect. At the end of the day, for a sequel that I didn't think need to be made, Inside Out 2 proved why it needed to be made, because it's the most logical next step for this story. All the new characters are great, the returning ones are great as well. It's very funny, very clever, and very thought-provoking at the end of the day. So I will say, worth seeing in your lifetime. The reason I'm not saying get off your ass and go see it right now is because, again, it didn't make me cry the way the first one does. And also, I gotta say, a lot of people are seeing this movie and saying, oh my god, Pixar is back. And to that I have to say, Pixar never left. Now, if you're talking about from a financial standpoint, then yes, I do agree that Pixar is back. But if we're talking about things from a creative standpoint, I disagree completely, because yes, I admit Pixar has not been making masterpiece after masterpiece this decade, but their movies have still been good. In my opinion, the worst movie that Pixar has made in this decade is Lightyear, but even then, it's not a bad movie. But I will admit that Inside Out 2 is their best film since Soul, and it is absolutely going to be sticking around for my top 10 list at the end of the year. And there you go, that's my review for Inside Out 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to give a special shout out to my YouTube members here in the starter pack. If you want early access to all of my videos, you can join the YouTube membership for as little as $1.99 a month. And the more people that become members of the channel, the more perks and tiers I can create. So thank you guys again so much. And until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Inside Out 2. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to help support the channel even more, you can do so via YouTube memberships, and make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads, and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day, and take care of yourselves.